Former Finance Minister Winston criticizes government's economic and health strategies on Nation Watch. On the recent edition of the popular talk show Nation Watch, former Minister of Finance under the coalition government, Winston raised concerns about the current administration's approach to healthcare, housing, and economic management. His detailed critique centered on the government's handling of voucher-based healthcare, spiraling infrastructure costs, and the disconnect between house lots distributed and actual homeownership. Healthcare criticisms. Jordan expressed his disapproval of the government's reliance on vouchers for critical health services like eye care, pap smears, and breast cancer screening. He argued that despite significant investments in building health centers, regional hospitals, and major healthcare facilities, the administration continues to issue vouchers that direct citizens to private healthcare providers. Jordan questioned the efficiency of this practice, suggesting it was a mechanism for transforming wealth rather than addressing the core healthcare needs of citizens. Escalating costs of infrastructure. Furthering his critique, Jordan highlighted the inflated costs associated with the government's capital projects. He cited the example of a health center, which would traditionally cost between GYD 7 million to 10 million to build, now being constructed at a staggering GYD 29 million. He attributed this escalation to poor economic planning and a failure to manage resources such as timber effectively. Jordan argued that incentivizing timber production and providing concessions for equipment would help stabilize prices and prevent the kind of exorbitant spending currently observed. Housing policy disconnect. Addressing the government's housing policy, Jordan was critical of the administration's tendency to equate the distribution of house lots with the building of homes. He stated that many recipients of house lots are financially unable to construct homes, which leads to them selling the lots, often unofficially, to wealthier individuals who then build large, luxurious houses. Jordan suggested that this practice undermines the government's claims of providing affordable housing to low-income families, stating that many of the so-called low-income areas now boast impressive, high-cost homes. Wasted resources and fiscal space. Jordan underscored the importance of cutting wasteful spending as a means of widening fiscal space for more productive investments. He pointed out that by eliminating waste, the government could reallocate funds towards meaningful wage increases for public sector workers, especially teachers. He revealed that his analysis of the national budget showed that the government could afford a 20% wage increase this year, followed by 15% next year, and 10% in the third year, without introducing new taxes or raising existing ones. Call for accountability and strategic planning. In his final remarks, Jordan called for a more accountable and strategic approach to economic management. He stressed the need for better resource allocation, long-term planning, and transparency, especially in housing and healthcare. Jordan's statements have reignited debate on the administration's policies, as he remains a respected figure for his tenure at the Ministry of Finance, where he played a pivotal role in shaping several national budgets.
They can only get back their money if you, the government, in your godmother or godfather role, doles out vouchers for eye, vouchers for pap smear, vouchers for breast screening, and all these different vouchers. And then you tacitly say, go to the private hospital, they will accept the voucher. So you're building all of these health centers, regional hospitals, major hospitals, which is to take care of these same things, but you're handing out vouchers for eye and all these different other things, pap smear and that other one I saw this morning that prevents cervical cancer and all these different things you're doing, and tell them, go to the private sector, take the voucher, they will accept it. That is a way of transferring wealth, right? And then, of course, the cost of these structures. Listen, if you put a $660 billion capital program in a situation where resources, human, physical, and so on, time and all these things are scarce, then the market operates. Price will come in. So a health center that you will normally be able to build, right? For a health center that you will now be able to build for between 7 and 10 million is now costing $39 million. $29 million wasted. $29 million wasted. If you are taking your time, understand the working of an economy, understand your level of resources, progressively increase those physical and other resources. Like, for example, timber's an issue. Okay, you're going to put out the incentive there to let people go and cut timber. You're going to put in the roads, the forestry roads, and so on to bring out. You're going to give concessions for timber equipment, forestry equipment, and all these different things so that you encourage more and more people. And as supply starts going in, you can add more and more to your capital program, right? So that the prices don't jump ahead of you in the way that they have jumped. You talk about the house lots, for example. You could, I don't know, this is only the government that I know that equates house lots to houses. This is the only government that I know that do that. They equate house lots, so they will boast, by next year we'll give out 50,000 house lots. My friend, of those 50,000 house lots, how many has a house on each of them? How many?
Or how many allottees are in a position to afford to convert that house lot to
But this is the point. Home. This is the point I'm telling you. This is the point I'm telling you. At the wages that you are giving out, at the wages that you are giving to the public sector, they can only qualify for a certain amount from the bank. The amount that they can qualify for can't even build a flat house in the circumstances. So if the housing got good sense and they know, and I know they know what is going on, a lot of those people are selling those plots, not actually signing a sale, but they have been given money for those plots while somebody else is building a fancy place on it. How else will you be given a cheap house lot, or what you call them, low-income house lot? But somebody ends up building a massive, fantastic house. And not only one, this is not one occurrence. There's several occurrences where in the low-income areas that they have given out house lots, there are enormous houses that have been built there. And all CNASP got to do is go and check to see who built the house, who owns the house, who's living there.
Or check the registry and check for the powers of attorney.
And the powers of, well, some of them even got powers of attorney. Some of them is built purely on trust. On trust. I got a friend or I got a family, they gave me a couple million, right? And I tell them, go ahead and build. So technically, I still own the house lot, but I don't live there. And you know all of these things are going on, but you're out there not talking about how many houses have been built, right? But how many house lots you have given out. And, so what I'm trying to tell you, Marvin, that's why I tell you, you need about 10 programs to this.
Yes, of course.
All of this is waste, right? And the more waste that you can cut is the more you will widen the fiscal space. Let me tell you quickly, and give teachers hope on heart. Teachers, I have crunched the numbers, okay? And you know me, I have been a number cruncher virtually all the days of my life, right? And I work with this very same government that has been prosecuting me, right? And all those top ones who are there, every one of them sought out my advice when I was at Ministry of Finance.
No least,
right? And I produced several budgets for them. So trust me when I tell you, I have crunched the numbers, and without a single increase in any tax or a single imposition of any new tax, you could have comfortably got 20% increase in your wages. I just dealt with wages and deal with benefits. 20% this year, 15% next year, and 10% in the third year, for an overall increase of roughly 51% on your existing salary.
Over 3 years.
Over 3 years. You could have got it comfortably and take that and carry it to the bank. You need now to go talk to your negotiators and your general counsel to explain to you in detail how come Mr. Jordan, the former Minister of Finance, has made this disclosure, and you come and tell us that you take 10% because they say they don't have any more fiscal space.
And there seemed to be some more room